Yes. Okay. I just posted that story in Rant, and I'm eating dinner, so I figured I would just check in. What do you guys think? Who here, what's up? First of all, what's up, everybody? And second of all, what did you think of that tax story? What surprised you when I told you about the many lunatics and their opinions on how scary it is to raise taxes on millionaires? Actually, my wife is in the room. So first of all, let me show you what I'm eating. It's tandoori chicken and rice. The hot sauce is Queen Majesty red habanero and black coffee sauce. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I miss my Dostoro's habanero sauce, but they're not shipping right now. Somebody just asked me if I'm going to vote for Trump or Biden. Well, let's see. I care about climate change. I hate racists. I believe in healthcare for ordinary Americans. I should be paying more taxes because I'm rich. And I think that we should have a social infrastructure. Gee, I don't know. Who do you think I'll be voting for? Yeah. So I wrote that. Because I did that story because I see so much propaganda and from so many people who are actually never going to be affected, or actually they're getting affected right now. I remember taking a taxi around 2014 or so when Obamacare was being discussed, and all these taxi drivers were listening to Rush Limbaugh, and they were telling me that Obamacare is horrible and they're going to raise taxes. I was like, they're going to raise taxes on me so that you can get health care. And one of the taxi drivers was like stunned. No one had ever said that to him. He's like, he just looked at me and he goes, he's in the rearview mirror. He goes, you should never let anyone take your money. And that really is how simple a lot of these arguments are. They're just like, this is the fixed amount of money I have, don't take it. But as we know, first of all, you can make more money. But second of all, there are structural systemic things. That guy, that taxi driver, if he had an accident, he's going bankrupt. He can't get health care. If somebody like Frederick Eklund, who you just saw, wasn't even sure if he's paying $20K more here, what does he care? $20K is nothing to him. But being able to get health care is everything to an ordinary American. So anyway, that's why I did it. What do you guys think about all the propaganda myths that are, when you guys saw that tax thing, did anybody share it with their friends? What do you think will happen if you share that with friends who are perhaps of a different mindset around taxes? I want to hear what would happen if you share that with friends. Typically what I find is that it's so far out of the echo chamber of people saying things like taxation is theft, as that very obvious simpleton in the comments just said. Taxation is theft. Yeah, the tooth fairy is real too. We all grow out of that stuff. It's such a hard concept to grasp that even though that person who thinks taxation is theft would actually benefit from it, it's very difficult to get someone to change their mind. So, and if you were to say, hey, like there's a millionaire, they actually want their taxes to go up. There are organizations called the Patriotic Millionaires. And they are a list of millionaires who have signed their name saying, please tax us more. We should be taxed. But as you can tell, this is not really based on facts. It's pure emotion. And that's what makes it so difficult. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I, as you can tell, got a little mad. I was just talking to my wife. I was like, I can't stop reading the comments. They're insane. And I just don't like when people lie about like money. I don't like the lies. I don't like the Wall Street lies. I don't like the tax lies. I don't mind if we disagree on a couple of things. I don't mind that. But when people, especially the rich, are like, I can't pay any more taxes. It's like, you've been paying historically low taxes for decades. And then they have no answer. As a personal example, I moved from New York City to California. It's not like I was seeking out lower taxes. I was seeking a great lifestyle. My wife and I both were. And you should keep in mind that we don't have children. If we had children, it would have been way, way more difficult for us to move. Lots of social roots that you put down when you have children. But as you can tell, we did not simply move for lower tax rates. We moved because we wanted a great lifestyle and family. So that's why we did it. But you know, it's interesting. I just had a guy in my IG DMs. We're having a nice conversation, and he was telling me that New York City is a dump, and LA's in lots of trouble. First of all, New York's not a dump. Look at the pictures. People are like outside, they're having a blast. California had an amazing amount of economic surplus, thanks to our governor. That means they had money in a rainy day fund. Unfortunately, COVID happened, and COVID has devastated every state in the country. But I will acknowledge that there is a big problem in California. Prop 13. It's horrible for young people who want to buy a house. It's basically a giveaway to older people. And we have NIMBYs, not in my backyard. They don't allow anyone to build housing. So that's a problem. Young people are like, hey, how am I supposed to afford anything in this state? Great weather, can't afford any housing. And it's NIMBYs. By the way, those are Republicans and Democrats. It's basically when people get into power, they don't want power to be taken away. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, man, woman. That's what happens in power. And that's one of the times that government can step in and say, you know what? No, we're going to have a larger value system than you keeping your taxes from 1970. This is Prop 13 in California. And it's one of the reasons that housing is so expensive, right? Something that happened decades ago. So anyway, I do want to acknowledge there are problems for sure. New York has its problems. California has its problems. Texas has its problems. But cutting costs is not the only thing you can do. That seems to be the only playbook that one political party has. Cut, cut, cut. And then if you take that to the logical extreme, you see what happened in Kansas. Kansas, they cut everything, and it was horrible. There were potholes, schools closed, all kinds of crazy stuff happened, and they realized, whoa, I actually don't want to do that. That is the logical extreme of lowering taxes on the rich and cutting all social services. That's called Kansas. You can look that up. Anyway, why do you think taxes make people so mad when you talk about it? Why do you think it makes everybody so mad? It makes me mad to see how mad you guys get. Wow, watching me eat cannot be that attractive. Chase Jarvis is here. What's up, Chase? You know, it's interesting. We have such a deep culture in this country. Think about those cowboy Western movies, right? Think about what that does to an entire country's psyche. Excuse me. It's like, we're in the Wild West. Manifest destiny. We got to make our own way. That's deep. That's cultural psyche. And when you start thinking about that, and then you tell people, well, actually, you know, we all depend on social services. and we should maybe help our fellow man or woman, suddenly you have a clash. But actually, we coexisted quite well in this country for a long time. It's roughly the last, you could say since 64, you could say since in the 80s, where it became hyper-radicalized. And it started to affect ordinary people. They can't get healthcare. They go bankrupt. They can't afford housing. And I always said, when I make it, I'm bringing everybody with me. And, you know, it's interesting. In this country, a lot of people ignore things. Oh, it's not so bad. Oh, president said this. Whatever, it doesn't affect me. My 401k's up. But at a certain point, you realize, no, we are all in this together. And look, I don't have kids. I still pay taxes that go to local schools. I'm happy to do that. Many of the people I hear talking about how wasteful government is have never actually been to another country. Go there, take a drive from the airport to your hotel and look at the roads. See what you notice. Ask them, oh, how do you verify identity? What about a social security number? There is no social security number in that country. And so all these comments about, oh, it's so horrible here, they have no basis for comparing it to another country. Many times they've never even left the country. Why am I listening to you for policy advice? Ah, I need to eat. Too much yelling today. I'm just enjoying reading the comments. A lot of people talk about government being wasteful. That's a common right-wing talking point. First of all, I will acknowledge government should strive to be less wasteful. Agreed. And when there's accountability that should be built in, we should monitor it carefully. I'm with you. However, the purpose of government is not always to be efficient. So many of the people who use efficiency, that's their whole life. Oh, efficiency. What's my lens? Efficiency. Are you efficient when you call your kids? Oh, get over here, Tim. You call them like that and then you have to be so efficient when you're at home? Oh, no. Oh, that's different, is it? When you go to a restaurant, do you just say, give me my order. Here's what I want. I'm not even going to talk to you. No. Because there's more to life than efficiency. And if you think about, for example, the U.S. Postal Service, which, by the way, is one of the highest rated organizations in America, they deliver everywhere for the same price. That same basic rate gets to every household in America. Their goal is not to be efficient. It's reach, it's effectiveness. It's to, since the beginning of America, it's to be able to connect people together. So you have a bunch of people over here, these right-wing propagandists saying, oh, let the free market do it. The free market works for certain things, great. I am a proponent of the free market in many ways. I run a company. I have a for-profit business where I pay employees and create products and have customers like you. But there's a time and a place for that. And there's a time and a place for making sure everybody can afford communication and getting their mail. So when you see people using this thing about waste, government waste, I say, give me your credit card statement for the last 2 weeks. I will find 30% waste. And you're sitting over here, you're buried in peanut droppings. You have like pet hair sitting on your floor, and you're over here lecturing an entire country about government waste. Let's look in your bathroom. How much hair is sitting there on the floor? Give me a break. I don't need to be lectured to by someone who hasn't taken out their trash in 3 weeks. Now, what I am saying, again, I want to acknowledge, we should always strive for more accountability. That should be built in, Democrat or Republican. And anyone who's fighting against accountability, no, I'm not a fan. Doesn't matter what political party you are. But to simply say all we need to do is squeeze out more efficiencies, give me your budget. You and I both know I can squeeze those efficiencies out. What will I cut? 10, maybe 20%? You still got a problem. Are you going to be able to afford housing with 20% down, 28% of your gross? No, because if you live in many areas in America making an average salary, you simply cannot afford it. Doesn't matter how much you squeeze out. So let's stop with the disingenuous arguments. Of course we should be accountable, but there's more to life merely than efficiency. And it's not only about squeezing government waste. We need to raise revenues. And plainly that means taxes. All right. What does the comment say? I remember when I was an RA in college, I was at Stanford in my 5th year, and we had a house. We had a house of about 50 people, and we had a staff of approximately 8, so we would have to make funding decisions. And I remember back then, we had a house budget. Everybody contributed dues. And then there'd be this vote, and some people would be like, oh, I don't want to spend money on alcohol for this party because I don't drink. We're like, that's not how it works. Even if you don't drink, you're not getting a refund back for your $3.62 of your house dues because it will cost us more just to calculate it. That's not how it works. We all contribute and we vote in our elected officials, and then they make the decisions that should ideally represent us. Couple of points I want to make of that. Number one, that's why voting is so important. I hope you guys are elected, are planning to vote and are registered. Second of all, I find the voter suppression efforts in at least 6 states happening right now totally repugnant. I'm going to have something more on that in a couple of days. And finally, you don't get to dictate in a democracy where your last dollar goes. That's not the way it works. It didn't work back in my Stanford dorm of 50 people, and it doesn't work at a national level. You don't get to pick. Trust me, there are plenty of things the government spends money on that I don't want to support. Trust me. That's not how it works, though. You don't get to pick and choose. You can't even pick your cable company. You can't even pick your cable channel. You got to buy all of it. You think you're going to be able to pick your individual funding? No, that's not how it works. All right. One guy told me on IG, he's like, I followed you for the finance advice, but not politics. I scrolled up and looked at his IG. He's only responded twice. That was the 2 times in the last approximately 6 months that I've talked about politics. He never wrote me about anything else. I talk about love and money. I talk about investments. I talk about spending. I talk about credit card perks. Never wrote me anything. I was like, bro, it seems like you just want to stay in an echo chamber. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. And he had already unfollowed me. Somebody told me I'd break the plate. Unfortunately, guys, I'm working with limited dishware here. I don't want to break this. I finished chicken and rice. Topo Chico. Why? Why is this so good? I'm not doing a plug. I don't have any deals with any of these companies. I do get these IG influencer deals, offers. Not many, and they're all horrible. They're like, would you like a free 2-week trial of our pet food? I'm like, I don't have or want any pets. Could you please do any research before you reach out? Oh, someone said, what are your macros for the week? Now that is a good question. I would love to do a whole series on macros. Should I do it? Look here. My food scale. It's always within reach. Maybe I'll do that another time. I do enjoy talking to you guys. Mostly just going on my rants. And I know that I'm not going to sleep tonight because of all the comments I'm getting. But one favor I want to ask you guys. See that highlight on my @Ramit, my Instagram page? Do me a favor and please share that with 3 of your friends. Tell them to watch it because it's a surprising look at millionaires and taxes. Please do me that favor. I want to get more people to watch this and think about a different data-backed way of taxes. All right. Hope you guys have had fun. I've had a great time tonight. I need to do some work, so I gotta go. Later.